Hello guys, Nigel here with you again, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and another review for you. Yes, following on from this one yesterday, which is the Airfix KT, a beautiful little ambulance from World War II. So following on from that one, I'm now going to look at the Gecko kit. Now, if you remember, I did tell you in that review, when I did the Airfix one, that I was expecting the Gecko kit yesterday. Stupid me, I ordered it from Jumbly's Models, and I actually ordered it via eBay. And it was a little bit more than the cost on their website, but then you got next day delivery. And I thought I was ordering it on Monday, so it would be delivered on Tuesday, because I thought yesterday was Tuesday. So yeah, stupid me, so I was wrong. So basically I got the Airfix one first. That came from Jadlam, and as you remember, I showed you that video. They was basically wrapped in a sleeve of cardboard and then wrapped in a plastic bag, which is fine really for an Airfix kit because the boxes are generally very, very good. However, when you get to stuff like Revell, it's not really good enough, is it? So this has come today from Jumbly's Models, and we have the Gecko kit in here. Now, I don't know how big the box is, but I'm guessing it's not much bigger than the Airfix box. And this is the box that the Gecko kit is coming. Now, you can see that it's been crushed. That'll be because DPD, I think it was DPD that delivered it, actually managed to put something on top of it and crush it. And luckily, Jumbly's Models have beautifully packed this. I know this is going to be beautifully packaged because Jumbly's Models kits always are. So there it is. There's the box with that in there. And that is basically going to be absolutely perfectly protected, even though DPD have managed to crush it. So if the kit is damaged, we know it's DPD's fault, because if that ain't adequate packaging from Jumbly's, I don't know what is. So anyway, less waffling, more looking at models. Let's get down to the bench and see what it's like. Okay, so here's the box, and we're going to unbox it on screen because I want you to see just how amazing Jumbly's packaging is. And like I say, even though this box has been crushed, we will see that the kit inside will probably be absolutely fine. If the kit's damaged, I should be well peed off, because once again I'll have to delay my review. But anyway, what have we got in here? To make sure we don't get any this is an advert from Jumbly's Models to show what's coming. There's the invoice. We don't want to see that, do we? So here we can see, get that out of the way, this is what Jumbly's Models have got coming for us. So we can see this is RFM. We've got an experimental Tiger. That looks quite interesting. Suborbital bomber, 72nd scale. That is a definite. I'm going to have to order that. In fact, I'm going to order it from these guys because I've since found out that actually Ed won't be getting that one. I thought he would be, but he's not. But yeah, very, very nice indeed. And we've got some more stuff on the back there. That looks very nice. So, little Gecko Models truck. It looks like Airfix and Gecko Models are kind of doing the same thing. Now, I'm wondering if that is why we have that. Remember in that Airfix kit we had the extra glass. I'm wondering if that's what it's for. Maybe they're going to be doing that one as well. Maybe they're sort of at each other's heels. But it almost seems like they got some kind of agreement because they both came out exactly the same time. So anyway, what's that one there? Oh, that's Tacom, and I thought it might have been RFM. But yeah, very nice indeed. So back to this kit. So here we have the Geckos, the Gecko Models. Blimey, it is a bigger box. We have the Gecko Models ambulance. Okay, sorry about that. I had to stop. The phone started ringing, then there was kids screaming outside. I can't wait for these bloody school holidays to be over, I tell you. The other day they were running up and down the road, beating the living daylights out of a drum and playing a bloody bugle. Honestly, just all day long. Just does your head in. Anyway, so here we go. This kit here, this is the Gecko version of what I reviewed yesterday. Kit number is 35GM0070. Got 2021 there for the artist. So this is not a toy, it's available for children over 14. Actual model may vary from the image, includes photo etched parts and decals, and it's got one figure included. I'm holding the box on an angle because, as you can see, we've got the reflection from the light, so it saves me moving the lights. But anyway, there we go. So looking around the side of the box here, it says made in China, obviously. And we've got the photo etched parts here, so we've got a lot more photo etched than we're getting in the Airfix kit. After this video, I'm going to do a comparison of the two and sort of mark them out of 10 and see how they come out. So I'm not going to really refer to the Airfix kit much in this one, although I just said that. What I'll do is I'll do a review afterwards. And then we've got a decal sheet there and a figure. I'm assuming that's going to be resin, maybe it's not. And then the end of the box there, you can see we've got the artwork again, and then the kit number and the limited edition special boxing. Seems everything coming out these days is limited edition. It's, you know, maybe they think it's going to make us buy everything, I don't know. But we can see it looks like we have two options, and then we've got some CAD images of the model itself. Don't like CAD images. You know, they could produce the biggest load of rubbish out there that doesn't fit together with warpage, sink marks and ejector pin marks, and that's still going to look awesome because the CAD image won't show you warpage and ejector pin marks. And there we go, on the other end we've got the box front livery there, the other way round. So the shopkeeper can stack it on end like that if he wants to, and then he can stack it on the side like that if he wants to. So looking in the box, it's very, very tight. It's not taped, is it? I cannot. Oh, yes we go. There we go. Wow, it's tight. Oh, and here we have the good old ICM type boxing. Zvezda do this as well, don't they? So we have a box within a box, which is great, and we have a lot of sprues which are all floating about. Now somebody did comment in my Airfix review to check that I have all my sprues, because it looks like there are some reports of having them missing. So basically we've got there's our figure there, so we've got legs and thighs and things. So there we've got figure, we've got some helmets and some bits and pieces in there. So I'm currently working on the Lancaster, and I've got a pot here with super glue on it, or a tray should I say, Pringles lid. So we've got some parts on here, so we've got wheels which look lovely. We have mud guards and stuff, we have a dashboard, and then we have a chassis and some engine parts. And then here we've got a Ziploc bag, again we have stretchers in there, clear parts, very, very nice. Tyres, this I do like, as long as they don't all fall apart when you put glue on them. I do like those very much. We have the main ambulance body there. And then finally we have a bag of parts here which has some interior parts. And yeah, it's all interior by the look of it, a floor pan and a bolt head and everything there. It's all very nice. Photo etch sheet, some wire. Decals. Very nice instruction book, which is quite weighty and quite thick, so nicely printed as well. And then we have a sheet in here. We have some colour call outs for the figure and for the equipment, and then we have many thanks to the gentlemen for their assistance, Simon King, Andrew Gadd and Curtis Zhang. So thank you to those guys. Let's hope they did a good job on making it accurate, because we got the same thing with the Titanic, didn't we? Yeah, right. So let's have a look at the instructions first of all. So what I'm going to do is zoom you in a bit for that. So let's have a look. There we go, give you a better view of them. So basically we've got a lot of information on the front of here. We've got Chinese and Japanese, I'm guessing. Chinese, Japanese and Korean, is that? Not sure. We've got English and German there. So very well covered on the language front. But just telling us all about the actual truck there. And if you want to, I can get that to sort of come into frame. There you go, you can pause and have a read. There we go. Okay, so going into the instructions, yes, they're glossy, that's a pain. Let me get my lights sorted out. Okay, so I have to try my best here. Real struggle to get this one set up. So anyway, I don't know why manufacturers have to use glossy paper. It's a nightmare for reviewers. But anyway, so it's giving us here our legends through the instructions for the bits and pieces. It's telling us some tools there and some cement, some accurate glue we need to use. Obviously sprue parts here, so common to experienced modelers, you've all seen this before. Got a bit of wire there which is called hose in this one. In fact, wire is better than hose because it doesn't all kink up. So we've got our parts going to our parts there on the sprue callouts, and then going over the page, as with most trucks, cars, whatever, we're going to start with the chassis. So we've got the chassis main rails there, and we've got the cross members going together, and then we've got leaf springs here. It looks like the leaf springs are in one piece because there's only one part number there, so but they do have a seam down the middle. So again, we've got these single piece leaf springs. We should have to see if they're full of sink marks. And then we've got some shock absorber assemblies going in there, which is all nice. And then we've got the the rear leaf springs there sat in their shackles, so all very nice indeed. Adding in some chassis rails. This is supports now for the body, I can imagine, and then these are the clamps that are actually going to hold them down. So these are supports that hold the body down, and then these long bolts here will be going up into the floor of the body to hold it down. We've got our wheels and tyres going together there. We've got the tyres there, looks like they've got some lettering on them, so you've got those going together into a hub with a brake back plate, no doubt, and it looks like that's on the wheel. That's going to be a centre part. Can't quite see what's going on here. You're turning it around. Okay. Here's my bloody phone ringing again. Sorry guys, it's ridiculous. My phone won't stop ringing today. It's people's scam callers and crap. Anyway, so there we go. The wheels going together there. So it looks like that's the front of the wheel. This is the back of the wheel. So we're probably going to get some brake backplate detail. Yes, there we are. There it is. So got the option here. I'm guessing that is the front and that is the rear wheels. I'm guessing. Nope, that is the rear wheels. So we've got different centres there, so I have to do a bit of research and see what different ones we need. Differential going together there, building up into the axle. And then here we're going to add the rear wheels onto the axle. And there we go, it's telling us not to glue them, so obviously that part there is turning. So here we are now, we're going to start on the transmission there. This isn't four-wheel drive, no, it's two-wheel drive, so we'll have a transfer box. But there's a transmission there, got the bellows in there with the starter motor on it. Then we've got the engine block going together. We've got a little PE cover there for something on the side. Then we've got inlet and exhaust manifold. Looks like it's a side valve engine, this one. And then basically we've got the fan belt and everything, all the pulleys going together, and a timing cover going on the front. Thermostat housing with the radiator hose there going on. Then coming over the side, we've got the dynamo going onto the side. It's showing us how it fits in there, and then we've got the distributor going in there, so we can add some. Looks like it is petrol, it's not diesel. It looks like we can add some leads there if we want to. And then we've got a prop shaft here with some lovely little joints going in. This is one of the problems with glossy manuals. You can see what I'm looking at, I can't, and it's a choice. It's either you or me. And unfortunately, it's going to have to be you. So here we are, that's showing us the engine with all the prop shafts fitted and everything, and the exhaust gone in. Then we're fitting the front axle. Looks like we have steerable wheels on this one. If we actually want to go make some brass pins and everything, we can actually make this front steer. So that's something I will definitely do, because it's always nice to have your wheels posable rather than just have everything sort of generically sat straight on. So you've got your uprights there, you've got your king pins in there, put some brass pins in there, job done. You've got steerable front wheels. I've done it on loads of models. You'll see if you go back and look at my other videos. Then we've got the steering arms going in here. It looks like what they've done is depicted the actual drop link as a piece of hose, so you can have it flexible. So that is a really nice touch. So rather than having to put all pivots and everything in, you can have that in there. I originally thought this might have been a brake pipe, but it's not. So there we go. So that's your main pivot for your steering there. Or of course you could put some brass pins and everything and have it all moving, or just leave it solid and have the wheels posable. Adding in building up the front wheels there as you did with the rear, and then adding those onto the front axle. And then you've got a choice of having the wheels steer to the left or to the right. Obviously remember, if you've glued this in position here, okay, by the time you get to here it's going to be too late, because if you've glued your track rod in there, you're not going to be able to pivot the wheels. So there we go, bear that in mind. Building up the fuel tanks, something I always say, if you're building a kit like this, look through the instruction. Bits like this, put those together first. Do those before you do anything else, and then when it comes to the time you need them, the glue's nice and hard. You can deal with the seams. It's not all going to sink, because all the solvents will have dried out of the glue and you're good to go. So do those first. Adding those onto the side of the chassis rail, and then we've got, this is the rear step going on. So you've got some photo etched brass on there going on. We've got photo etched brass actually holding it on, so that's going to be fairly fragile, I would say, unless it does actually glue to the chassis and then the brass is just decorative. But you might want to leave that off, because it's going to be quite prone to getting knocked around. Here we've got the plastic grille surround with the actual grille here in photo etch, and then we've got the radiator going in there from behind, and then the photo etch there for the brackets that hold in the radiator in. Whether they're brackets supporting the cowl, I don't know, or whether they're actually, I think they're actually brackets supporting the cowl, because the radiator was probably solid. And then we've got two radiator caps going on there. Adding the radiator cowl on there, we've got the filler cap going in there, and then we're adding in our front mudguards, rear mudguard supports, front bumper, seat box there going in, seat going on top. So you're building up the seat with the base in the back and then adding that in there. And then here we've got steps going into the underside of the floor, and then we've got a handbrake and a gear lever going into the floor, and the seat going in mounted on its box. Here we've got the pedals going in, we've got the fire extinguisher in there, we've got the throttle pedal, got your brake and your clutch. Got some photo etch to go on them because they would have had a raised metal surface, so you can paint those in whatever your colour is you're doing your vehicle, and then dry brush them with some silver, make it look a bit used. Steering column, steering wheel, all looking very nice. And then here we've got some boxes going into the engine bay, so I have a regulator box in there and some other bits and pieces. And then you've got the top of the actual, the front of the bulkhead, the radiator, the engine cowl, whatever you want to call that, going in there. It's showing us how we've got decals here for the instrument panel. We've got a decal there, which is going to be something about using the drive or something in there. And then we've got headlights here going in together. So it's ×2, and we've got the option of having the blackout lights, or we can have the ordinary headlights on there. Then we've got the front going onto the chassis, and you've got that triangular support there. That's the support for the back of the radiator. And then we've got our engine side covers here with the latches and everything on. All very nice indeed. Then we've got the separate bonnet covers there, so you can have these all hinged up if you want to and have your engine exposed, which would be quite nice for a diorama. Or you could just glue those all together and have them lifting off as one. Then we've got photo etch bases there for the headlights going in, and we've got the headlights going on, and then we've got the little emblem for the front, and we've got little side lights going in there. And then here we've got our name or plaque for our squadron, whatever, or division. And we've got here, which I can only assume is a bumper bar going on the front. Jerry cans, that looks like it may well be a battery, or it's another form. It's a water can, sorry, it says water decal there. So we've got decals going on there, so that's jerry cans for your fuel, or fuel cans, and then there are water cans going in there. And then we've got all sorts of details and boxes going underneath the main floor. And then here we're going to build up the stretchers. We've got some photo etch in there, we've got a photo etch box there, we're having water cans and jerry cans in it. And then they're going underneath there, and then we've got boxes going in the inside. This is the inside of the ambulance area now. Not sure what that is, but that's looks like a seat, and that's for the passenger seat. That's right at the front. So that's right at the front. So that's where, no, it's not. That's actually behind the bulkhead. So there we go. So it's obviously a seating area for the nurse or whatever. And then we've got the box going underneath there. We've got the fenders going in, mud guards, with the photo etch support. That's going to look lovely, and we've got a photo etched rubber mud guard there, so you can anneal that and bend it about. I've just been doing annealing on the Lancaster actually. Same on the other side, and it's showing us here graphically how those bits all go together. And then we've got the rear part of the body going on there. That's going to cover in those water tanks and everything. And we've got some little latches on the side there. And then we're going to build up our doors. So we've got a door here in the bulkhead. This is between the driver and the rear area, and you've got an option of having the door open or closed. You've also got the option of having the curtain rolled down or rolled up there, which is very nice. And we've got some sort of backrest there, or some sort of padding, I'm guessing, because it's semi-gloss black, so not sure quite what that is, unless that opens right up and that forms a backrest for the person sat in the passenger seat. Nope, because there's one there, so we'll have to have a look. And then we've got shutters there, so we can either have rolled down shutters there. We've got a backrest going in there, and then we've got rolled down or rolled up shutters going on that bulkhead there. So you've got lots of options in here. You've got to make sure you keep yourself well in. So there's the seat. So that was a backrest or a headrest, and there's the seat going in there, and you've got a support underneath it there. That's the bulkhead going in, and then you can also have that seat folded up if you want to. So again, there are a lot of options in this kit. Really, really cool. We've got the spare wheel going in there behind the driver's seat, and that's going to have the support there holding it in. Building up the spare wheel there, and it looks like we've got a photo etch area here going in. Yeah, that's the photo etch support for the seat, for the spare wheel. And then we've got ribs going in here. That's obviously runners for the like rails for the stretchers to go in, and then we're fitting stretchers into those rails. Looks like we've got some folded up blankets and some pillows going in there. Detail going into the underside of the roof. Looks like we've got some lights going in, and then some more stuff going in, and then we've got the vents going into the top of the roof. They're separate parts, so very nice. Building up some more stretchers. We've got side cushions going in there, and then we have option 1 here, which is to have the stretchers, this stretcher led down on top of that track, and then okay, so you've got this assembly going together here, and then we have, this is option 1. Is there an option 2 here? Let me have a look. Option 2 is to have that stretcher sitting in that one. Without going deeper into this, I can't quite see the difference. I'm sure you guys will say, those that know the ambulance well, but we've got this stretcher, this floor area here with the tracks in it going together, and then we have option 1, which is a stretcher sitting in top of there with a pillow and a blanket on it sitting on top of there, and that going into the side, and then we're building up the other side and adding all that, and that's the other side there, and then putting all that together into the sides of the body. Or we have option 2, which is pretty much, it looks the same to me. I can't see what the difference is. Yeah. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments below. Thank you if you do. So we've got the option here of having the, hang on, okay, this is it. Option 1 has the stretchers lifted up so you could have 4 patients in there, and option 2 has them lowered down. So you can obviously raise them up or lower them down. So that's in the raised up, that's in the lower down position. Here we have the doors, so you have the option of having these canvas doors open or closed. And then we've got the bulkhead part going on the top there. And then we've got these little latches with spring parts and everything, and little photo etch parts going in there to hold those doors shut, which is a really nice touch. And I'm aware this is going on for a long time. We've also have the windscreen here, so we can have the glazing open or closed. We've got the side supports which hold the glazing open or closed there in photo etch. We've got a little hammer by the look of it, and a shovel going in there up in the side, and then we've got one of those plaques as well going in, showing us there where the shovel goes. And then we're going to add the windows onto the top of the closed doors, or we could not have any windows and have them over the open doors, and we're adding the roof on there for whatever option you go for. Then going over the page, we have mirrors going in. They're going to look lovely but very flimsy, so leave them off to the end if I were you. And then we've got some clear parts and some vents going in there. So we've got a clear window going in there with a grille going over the top of it, so obviously they can slide the window across from inside, I'm guessing, and have a vent going in. So they don't, looks like they don't give you the option of having it slid across, but I'm sure you could just glue it in the slid across position if you wanted to. And no doubt they can slide the vent, so they can slide the window and have the vent, or they can slide both and have an open area, or slide just the vent and have clear glazing. So you can have whatever you want, I'm guessing. So the rear door is going there in the closed position, so if you're not going to bother with the interior, as I said with the other kit, you can save all your stretchers for another diorama and just glue it all up closed. And then we have here, we have, oh, nice touch, we have stretchers here in the rolled up position. So I don't quite know where you would put them, but you could have them just leaning against the side of something if you wanted to. Again, you've got spares for your diorama. So here's option 1. So this is the #1 training centre, Camberley, Surrey, March, April 1945. So they're telling you to paint the body in SCC2, interior of rear cabin in mid-stone. So that's a nice touch. And then going over the page here, we have the option KT, the movie of the Ice Cold and Alex. There we go, that's a nice one. And the vehicle overall colour is light sand. Windows overpainted to reduce reflections, interior colour of rear cabin in mid-stone. So basically these windows would have been overpainted by the look of it. And it looks like, yeah, what they've done is they've painted over the windows, and I seem to remember, yes, that comes as a decal. So you have decals, decals, whatever you want to call it, to cover those windows over. So there we go, saves you having to mask them and paint them. I don't remember seeing Ice Cold and Alex, I must go back and watch it again, but I'm guessing they painted over those windows and the windows there, I'm guessing, to keep the interior cool. So there we are. Looks like a very, very nice kit. So here we have a resealable bag. So in here we have our, in fact I'm going to change the lighting back. Okay, so here we have the decals and the decals and the photo etch. In there we have some wire, which is very, very nice indeed, very soft. So there we are, there's the decal sheet, decal sheet, and it looks to be beautifully registered. There's no manufacturer's make on there, but they're Gecko's own. Now Gecko is a fairly new Chinese manufacturer, as our border model, and I happen to love border model decals. They're really, really nice, so these might be as good. So they look to be, they're very flat, they look to be fairly thin, they don't have loads of carrier film, and they appear to be nicely in register. So you can see the decal options you're getting in there. So there's nothing much to look at. You've got some white serial numbers there, and you've got some white serial numbers down here, and then you've got your water signs there for your jerry cans, and we've got a plaque for the dashboard, we've got a gauge there, and then we've got another gauge up here. So all very nice, very nicely done, and will hopefully go down as good as they look. And then here we have the lots and lots of photo etch. So here's all the runners for our stretchers and everything. We've got the framework there for our water cans, frame in center seam for our jerry cans there. We have mesh for our grill. So there's the center piece there, and we have the side pieces. We've got some rubber mud flaps there, which are always nice in photo etch, and lots of other little bits and pieces and brackets and greeblies there. So yeah, very nice indeed. Put that down over there. So let's start looking at these sprues. I'll just deal with them as they come. So some of it is in Ziploc bags and some of it is in sealed bags. As I say, hopefully I've got a complete kit. Somebody did comment that to check, because you may not have a complete kit. So we'll chuck those bags down over there. So what have we got here? We have, start off with, this is sprue DC. This is like mini art now, isn't it? So we've got here, we've got the cover for the side cover for the spare wheel there, and we have wheel sensors here, and then here's our roof vents. Obviously they're going to be doing a lot of different options, because otherwise why would they put all those parts on a little sprue on their own? And then we've got some wheel centers there, which look very nice indeed. To be honest, the moulding looks a little bit soft, but then that might be the colour of the plastic. We could be in Zucchini territory here. Zucchini always looks soft until you put a coat of primer on it, and then boom, out comes the detail. We have an exhaust there, and we have those vents on the sides, and they have some rivet detail or bolt detail down the side of them. So yeah, quite nice. Another tiny sprue here. This is our jerry cans. We've got the handles. We have some detail there on the side of the jerry can. I'm not sure you can make it out, but there's some detail on the side of that one there. And then these are our water containers. And we have two of those sprues, and we have two of these as well. So these are our wheels, and I must say the wheel detail looks absolutely stunning. We've got our fuel tanks there, fuel tank ends, and some very, very small little handles and catches and greeblies and bits and pieces, which are very nice indeed. We've got headlights there, and some other spotlights which are all slide moulded, and we've got the clamps there for holding the body down. But those wheels and all that tyre lettering are stunning. I'll give you a close-up of that. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice. So that's our wheels and tyres sprue. And then here we've got a sprue which is a Ziploc. So we've got, in here we have 4 identical sprues. There's no point in looking at all 4, but this is basically 4 stretchers. So we have our pillow there, or headrest. So blankets there rolled it up, and the actual stretcher itself with the shape in the middle, and then you have some rolled up stretchers there. So obviously we're getting 4 rolled up stretchers and 4 normal stretchers. So very nice indeed, beautifully done. Here we have a Ziploc. I'm just going to do these as they come to me. So here's the clear parts. And look in here, we have, it's all very clear, but the windscreen does seem to have a bit of a, I can catch it in the light, if you see here where my finger is, you can see it's a little bit wonky. So not perfect, but maybe the glass was like that in those days. I don't think it was, but it's certainly not bad. There's no spider webbing or anything in it. So you could probably sand it flat if you wanted to, but you could just leave it as it is. It adds a bit of That's a bit of something to look at, doesn't it? And then the side windows here are beautiful. They are really, really nice. Perhaps give those a very light coat of a yellow orange just to tinge them a bit. But they look lovely, don't they? Really nice. I doubt if anyone would build this with the doors shut. And then we've got our lights there for the interior at the rear. And then these are our glazing for our rear. So yeah, we've got headlight lenses there with the moulded on detail. So we'll put those back in the bag so they don't get scratched. At the end of the day, you could always replace that windscreen with just a flat piece of styrene if you wanted to. Here we have the figure. So we'll cough them. We've got a couple of sprues in this Ziploc bag, or 3 sprues, sorry. So there's our figure. So we have the torso there, which is nicely done. On the back side, nicely done as well. We have some legs in shorts. And then we have, is that legs in shorts or is that legs in trousers? I can't remember now. The picture was on the side of the box, wasn't it? Oh, it's a skirt and trousers. Oh, there's the skirt. Okay. So this large area here is obviously for the skirt to go around. And then we got socks. And we'll have stockings, socks, I'm guessing. Or maybe no tights, or I don't know. I don't know about uniforms, especially women in the Second World War. But there we can see the face, which is nicely done as well. Nicely moulded. We have a couple of arms, and we have an arm there holding something, holding a glove, and we have a couple of arms there not holding a glove. So basically that is the left arm and that is the right arm. So you've got a choice of 2 left arms. Seems a bit strange. Whatever. And then we have some equipment. So we have some little bags and stuff, and we have some helmets, strapped and unstrapped. Some binoculars there. It's a little bit flashy, this sprue. You can see there's some flash on there. But we have binoculars. And then on here we have some more bits and pieces, some water cans there. Obviously little bits and pieces that are going to be great for your diorama. Most of that I would think will go in the spares box. So there we go. Right, onto one of the main sprues, just to get into the kit now. In fact, just to get this out of the way, let's have a look at these tyres. Tyres are in a Ziploc bag as well. It's great, the Ziploc bags. And they are beautifully done. If that tread pattern is correct, they are beautifully done. However, the reason they do this is to avoid a mould seam in the middle. That's why they do this. That's the whole reason for doing this outer wheel that sort of slides over. But if you look on here, there's a mould seam. Millimetre in from the top edge there, you can see it going round. You can see that mould seam. So quite why they've bothered, I don't know. So it's still going to have to be cleaned up, but then at least it's not in the middle. And if the tread pattern's accurate, that's really nice. And as I say, I know a Bronco kit where they've done this, and as soon as you put glue on it, it will just cracked. So hopefully this won't do the same. So we got 5 of those, so very nice indeed. If you're going to have your spare wheel exposed, you're going to have to deal with that seam. Right, so let's get into the main parts of the model instead of looking at all the bits and pieces. So here we have, I'm aware this is going on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I think this is probably the worst video I've ever made. I've had the phone ringing twice, I've had a delivery, I've had kids outside screaming, and then the battery went. It's unbelievable. This is about 97 takes. So anyway, there we go. Right, so here we have the main kit parts. So here we have, this is sprue CA, and we can see here we've got the instrument panel with the bulkhead and the footwells. We've got the radiator cowling there. We've got the mudguards there, which are very nice indeed. We have the steering wheel, engine cover. We have our mudguards there, which are thick, a little bit thick, but they've got detail both sides. Then we've got the engine side covers there. I'm not sure what those bits there are. And then we've got the supports there. That's for the back of the front mudguards. And then we have some engine details here, manifolds and stuff, gearbox parts, brake back plates, gearbox, more brake back plates, Lovely detail on them, lovely detail on the steering wheel as well. It's very nice indeed, and also nice to see. That's a very nice touch. They've got detail on the outside of the engine side covers, and if you want to show them open, they've got detail on the inside too. So there you go. So that's very nice, and also the brake backplate detail is really nice as well. For those of you that care about that sort of thing, a lot of you don't worry because you just have it sat in a dyno and don't care what it looks like. But no, I mean, you got the bulkhead detail there. You can see on the engine bay, the bulkhead there has got all the pressed steel shenanigans going on. And then when you turn it over, you've got the same pressed steel shenanigans on the inside in the footwells, and you've also got a lovely instrument panel there with the dials moulded and everything. No ejector pin marks that you're going to see. You've just got a couple of is that ejector pin marks, or that's part of the kit? There's ejector pin marks in the middle there. I don't think you can see them, but yeah, very nice indeed. Beautifully done. No ejector pin marks in the bonnet. No ejector pin marks on the mudguards. So all in all, very beautifully done. Very nice indeed. I say, if anything, it looks a touch soft. Just a touch, but as I say, it could be the plastic. Chassis rails here, we've got some bracket detail on there, which is lovely. Ejector pin marks on the inside of the chassis, which will have to be dealt with if you fuss about that sort of thing like I do. We have an exhaust pipe there, which I'm sure we already saw an exhaust pipe on one of our sprues, didn't we? I don't know, maybe I'm thinking back, but anyway. An exhaust pipe there, front axle, rear axle, differential cover, and then we've got the leaf springs there. Again, they're moulded in one piece and no sink marks, which is nice. We all remember days of old with leaf springs with great big sink marks in them because they were so thick. But I haven't seen any sinkage on this anywhere. There's not really a lot of flash. There was a little bit of flash on that accessory sprue, but nothing here to speak of. And all very nicely done. Looks like there's a steering box there, which is beautifully done. It's got a kind of mini art ring to it a bit. It's kind of halfway between mini art and ICM, say. It's sort of a little bit more complex than ICM, but not as complex as mini art, but very, very detailed at the same time. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. And they've slide moulded the end of the exhaust there by the look of it. So, very nice indeed. Second but last bag. Sorry guys if this is taking too long for you, you can always fast forward, but I think a kit of this quality deserves the time, to be honest. So here we have another small sprue. So we've got box there for building up, that's the seat. So this is obviously all the seat, and this is what's going in the back. Not sure what that is. That goes in the back of the ambulance. And then we've got all our box here, got canvas covers there for the windows, the seat box there, and there's our backrests and everything, and headrests for bits and pieces. So that's all very nicely done, and you can see the back of the seat is nicely textured, as is the base. No ejector pin marks to speak of. So yeah, very nicely done. We have, this is more stretcher bits, I think. Or is this part of the bodywork? I'm not sure. There's our front bumper there. No, that's stretcher parts. We've got a gun there, a rifle. We've got grills here. None of the grills are moulded through. And some other various little bits and pieces and brackets and handles and stuff there, which you can see. All very nicely done indeed. Again, lovely flat panel there. No ejector pin marks. So other manufacturers can take that on board. We have another sprue there, exactly the same. And then here we have, this is our driver's area, this is the floor, so it is wood by the look of it. We have the rest of the front bulkhead there going in, and then we have the bulkhead, this is the bulkhead that separates the driver from the ambulance compartment. Shovel, looks like what's a sledgehammer or something, and then various brackets and stuff for the stretchers and that. And some more boxes and greeblies and bits and pieces that go underneath the bodywork there. And then we've got some rolled up canvas here, which is very nicely done. Really nice. So yeah, all in all, lovely, lovely kit. here we are now with these are our main body parts. So we'll put this to one side. So we've got our roof section there with the internal vents and everything. We have it's got some oil on there. This is the floor section, so that's the front of the back of the cab, if you like, that goes behind the bulkhead. And then we've got that's the exterior of the roof there. So we've got the exterior, lovely texture on there. So that's the interior of the roof there with the vents, and there's the exterior there, and you're going to add those covers on. We've got the front of the roof there that goes over the cab. Got the texture carried on there, which is really nice, and that's the bit that goes over the top of the roof. We've got some sort of access panel there, access hatch for something or other. But yeah, all very, very nice. It's got an access hatch there in the floor. I'm guessing that's an escape. Guessing. If you know, tell me in the comments below. And then the underside of the floor there, note, no ejector pin marks whatsoever. Oh, this is lovely. No ejector pin marks on the inside of the roof. Very, very nicely done. Looks like a company that listens to modelers' needs, doesn't it? So here we have the back doors. Again, no ejector pin marks. Bit of texture on there. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. And we've also got texture on here as well. Not sure if that's correct or not, if it would have had texture on it. But we have the door there on the bulkhead between the two compartments. And then we have the doors here. These are the doors in the closed position. There's the doors in the rolled up position. There's the side panel. We've already seen one of those. I know we have. There we go. So we've got two of those. So this one is rounded and that one is squared off. So obviously one vehicle has a smaller tyre than the other. There we are. So there's a rolled down cover there. And that's the rear step, I think, going into the back of the ambulance. But I'm a little bit intrigued of why they've got all this texture on here. I'm not sure that's correct. I should have to look up some references. We've got all the framework around the edge of those doors. If you look, you can see it on there. All beautifully moulded. So there are ejector pin marks in the sides here, but it looks like they're covered up by they're sensibly placed so that they're covered up with a buffer strip going along the side. In fact, that was on here, wasn't it? That's that. You can see it's got the lovely texture on it to make it look like it's sort of soft covering wrapped over a foam backing or whatever. And that's going to go in the side there and cover those ejector pin marks up. So yeah, very nice indeed. Very, very cleanly moulded. Very well done. So this has been a review of the Gecko models well-known KT limited edition special boxing. I don't know. From Gecko models. It's my first ever Gecko kit. Not sure how it goes together, having never built one. Don't even know what the plastic's like to work with. Feels very nice, feels very border models-ish. It doesn't seem hard. No, it's certainly not hard, and it's not brittle. It feels very nice to work with, actually, judging by that little tiny little sample cut there. But overall, I mean, I'm loving the way they've moulded all this wrinkled up stuff, all the canvas bits and pieces and that. Lots of different options for lots of different positions for lots of different bits. So all in all, looks like a really, really nice kit. And I have to say, in some aspects, nicer than the Airfix. I will be doing a comparison of the two, but just in case you don't want to watch that video, my initial thoughts are, this is more for the advanced modeler. I think the sort of modeler at the level I am, which is, I'm not an advanced modeler, but I've been doing it for years. I think I would get more pleasure from this kit because of its accuracy than the Airfix kit, because it doesn't have some of the features this kit has, i.e. the tyre lettering, the wheels look a little bit soft, the actual moulding of the wheels, the bolts kind of look a bit soft. In this one you're getting the option of having different bits and pieces of stretcher configurations. You've got the main doors here which you can have closed, whereas with the Airfix one you only get them open. Having said that, I can 99.9% guarantee the Airfix kit will go together like a dream. The plastic will be wonderful to work with. The instructions are gorgeous. It will fit really, really well, and it will be really, really good. And obviously fantastic for the beginner or the newer modeler out there. This, I think, could be quite tricky. lots of little bits of photo etch brackets and stuff which could have been made of plastic, which sometimes, you know, can be a bit of a pain. But like, you've got the photo etch grille, which is much nicer than a moulded grille. We've got the tyre lettering, which is much nicer than not having it. But, you know, I would say probably this kit is going to come out tops. But having said that, for the newer model of the Airfix kit is going to be without doubt the better model. And as I say, I don't know how this is going to go together. So anyway, I'll stop waffling. Thanks for watching. I will do a comparison video where I'll mark them in their 10, you know, out of 10 sort of thing, and go for that. That'll be out in the next couple of days. It's going to take me quite a while to do. So thanks for watching this one. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.